Of course, the real highlight for the Arctic cruises from almost everyone are polar bears. And in many ways, polar bears can dictate everything with a need for flexibility. Is landings to get ashore. It takes longer than in Antarctica because they need to suss out the location to see if there's any bears. And so they may plan to go ashore, see a bear, then you don't actually get ashore. Occasionally, we may be ashore and you need to evacuate quickly because there's a distant bear. The other thing, when you are ashore, you have to be in guided groups. You can't roam around. So they might have slow, medium, fast groups. So it's very important to know what pace you like to go at. Because you can't say, oh, I've only gone so far, I want to go back to the ship. You can't do that. You have to keep in the group. Sometimes, obviously, if you can't get ashore because there's a bear on the beach, we may then get into the zodiacs. It may take time again. They may send one zodiac across to see if it's a relaxed bear. You may go out in the zodiacs, or we may observe it from the ship, and it's amazing how close an experienced captain can get to the shore to see the bears. There's other times when we are just ship cruising looking for bears. If we're going along a shoreline, particularly in the peak summer, there's lots of resting bears. We just keep looking, although quite often guests get very excited mistaking a reindeer for a polar bear. Earlier in the season, you get what we call fast ice. It's very fast ice deep in the fjords, and quite often you may have a number of bears at one location, but they can be mid-distance. So again, we often have telescopes on board, but it's very important to bring those binoculars for polar bears. And then finally it's going up into the pack ice to look for bears. It's a real special experience. You may find one very quickly. You may go for 2 days and find none. Sometimes it may be a distant bear or a mid-distant bear. If you're very lucky, if we park in the ice, occasionally we have that really special encounter with a bear coming right to the ship. But remember to be flexible. This is wildlife. You may have a close encounter, it may be more distant, and sometimes everything may have to change because there's a bear ashore, and that's when it's very important to follow that advice and you have to evacuate and listen to the staff.